Gervonta "Tank" Davis shook the boxing world recently when he announced his retirement from professional boxing at the age of just 30, undefeated, still in his prime, and holding one of the sport's highest knockout percentages. The Baltimore-born fighter had plenty of reasons to keep going, but Davis, who has faced a turbulent mix of fame, personal struggles, and emotional burnout, decided to step away from the ring at least for now. The announcement stunned fans, opponents, and boxing insiders alike. But one reaction stood out. From the rest, Floyd Mayweather, the undefeated 5-division world champion and former mentor and promoter of Davis, did not offer the usual praise or support. Instead, he offered what some saw as mockery, others as tough love, and a few as downright disrespect. In public comments made days after Davis' announcement, Mayweather openly questioned his former protege's decision to walk away so early and, in classic Floyd fashion, didn't hold back. Whether it was genuine concern, wounded pride, or just Mayweather playing to the cameras, his words have reignited the drama between two of boxing's most talked-about names. Let's unpack everything: sudden retirement, Floyd's biting response, the history between them, and what it all means for the future of boxing. The shocking retirement of Gervonta Davis made headlines with a simple but chilling message on social media. Greater than "I'm done. Thanks for the memories." The tweet was followed by deactivation of his X, formerly Twitter account, and a storm of speculation across sports media. Was it mental fatigue? A temporary emotional reaction? Or was this truly the end of one of boxing's brightest stars? Within hours, Davis confirmed in an Instagram live session that the retirement was real. "Greater than I gave this sport my heart. Since I was a kid. It's been my whole life. But I need time to heal, to be a father, to live without the chaos. I'm stepping away, not forever. Maybe, but for now." The 30-year-old walks away with an unblemished record of 30 wins, 28 by knockout, and a resume that includes knockout victories over Ryan Garcia, Leo Santa Cruz, and Rolando Romero. His departure leaves a massive void in the lightweight division and comes at a time when many believed he was entering his peak years. Floyd's reaction: 30. I was just getting started. Not long after Davis' retirement post went viral, Floyd Mayweather was approached by reporters outside his gym in Las Vegas. When asked about Gervonta's decision, Floyd smiled and said, "Greater than retiring at 30. Man, I was just getting started at 30. That's when the checks got bigger. The fights got tougher, and the legacy really got written." The crowd laughed, cameras clicked, and Floyd continued, "Greater than Tank's a hell of a fighter, don't get me wrong. But boxing ain't something you just walk away from because you're tired. That's what training camps are for. You tired? Go run some more. You stressed? Go punch a bag. Retiring at 30? Come on, man, that's young blood." Though some thought Floyd was joking, the tone of his comments wasn't all lighthearted. He didn't offer congratulations. He didn't express concern. He didn't say, "I'm proud of him." Instead, it sounded like a jab. And for many watching, it wasn't surprising because the relationship between Mayweather and Davis has been strained for years. A complicated mentor-student relationship. At one point, Floyd Mayweather was more than just Gervonta Davis' promoter. He was his mentor, his protector, his blueprint for success. Under Mayweather Promotions, Davis rose to prominence quickly. He was dubbed the next pay-per-view star and positioned as the heir to Floyd's throne. But as Davis' fame grew, so did his frustrations with Floyd's control. By 2022, Davis had begun publicly distancing himself from Mayweather Promotions. He claimed he wasn't being promoted properly, hinted at feeling like a pawn in someone else's empire, and criticized the matchmaking around his career. "Greater than I felt like I was being held back." Davis once said in a 2023 interview, "They didn't want me to become bigger than the brand." Eventually, the split became official. Davis began operating independently with Al Haymon's PBC Premier Boxing Champions, and Mayweather was no longer part of his inner circle. Since then, the two have exchanged subtle and not-so-subtle digs through interviews, social media, and post-fight pressers. Floyd never fully praised Davis after the Ryan Garcia win, and Davis often ignored questions about Mayweather's influence on his career. So when Davis retired and Floyd responded by mocking the timing, many saw it as the continuation of an unspoken feud. Was it disrespect or just Floyd being Floyd? The internet exploded with opinions after Mayweather's comments. Some fans were furious, accusing Floyd of disrespecting a fighter he helped build. They pointed out that Davis was clearly struggling with personal issues and that his decision deserved empathy, not ridicule. Others defended Floyd, saying that boxing is a brutal business and that Mayweather was simply speaking the hard truth. That greatness requires perseverance and that retirement at 30 is premature. One viral comment on YouTube: read to greater than Floyd was 38 when he retired. Pacquiao fought into his 40s. Tank could still give us 5 more years. Floyd's not clowning him. He's challenging him to be great. Another tweet countered: greater than nah. Floyd's ego just can't handle Tank leaving on his own terms. He wants the spotlight. Always has. Always will. The truth likely lies somewhere in between. Mayweather has always been outspoken, brash, and brutally honest. But his comments about Tank felt personal, and perhaps they were. Mayweather's own legacy is defined by perfection. 50-0. Never knocked down. Never dethroned. He dominated 5 divisions, made hundreds of millions, and walked away on top. But behind the wealth and the records is a man who desperately guards his throne. Mayweather has never truly crowned a successor. Adrian Broner, once seen as Little Floyd, collapsed under pressure. Gervonta Davis came closest to filling the shoes, both in the ring and at the box office. But Floyd has always made it clear, there is only one Floyd. So when Davis rose to stardom, earned bigger purses, and then split from Mayweather Promotions, while claiming independence, it may have rubbed the legend the wrong way. Davis retiring at 30 while still undefeated may look to some like the closing chapter of a legendary career, but to Floyd, it might look like a missed opportunity. A failure to finish the story. Greater than you don't retire when it gets hard, Floyd added in the same interview. You keep fighting. That's what separates good from great, Gervonta's response. Silence speaks loudly. Interestingly, Davis hasn't responded directly to Mayweather's remarks. No Instagram stories, no tweets, no interviews, nothing. This silence is striking, especially for Davis, who's never been shy about calling out critics or former allies. Some insiders speculate that Davis is taking the high road, not wanting to escalate a war of words that could overshadow the peace he says he's trying to find. Others believe he's waiting, that if he does return to boxing, and many think he might use that platform to address everything, including Floyd. Tank ain't the type to let Floyd talk crazy forever, said one former Showtime commentator. If he comes back, best believe there's going to be fireworks. A sport without its starring. The meantime, the boxing world must reckon with the absence of one of its biggest draws. With Davis out of the picture, the lightweight division is open for the taking. Devin Haney, Shocker, Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, and Ryan Garcia are all potential leaders, but none possess Davis' unique combination of knockout power, pay-per-view appeal, and street credibility. Tank brought a rawness to boxing that felt authentic. He represented a new generation social media savvy, culturally resonant, and impossible to ignore. Without him, boxing risks losing the crossover fans who tuned in not just for the fights, but for the energy, the drama, and the unpredictability. Could a comeback be brewing? Of course, retirement in boxing is rarely forever. Floyd Mayweather himself retired multiple times. So did Sugar Ray Leonard, George Foreman, Tyson Fury, and more. Davis has already left the door slightly open. In his Instagram Live, he said, greater than, I'm not saying I'll never fight again, just not right now. I need peace. Mayweather's comments, while harsh, may also serve as fuel. Fighters are prideful, and being clowned by someone as visible as Floyd could be the kind of motivation that leads Davis back into the ring. Imagine the stakes. Davis returns, fights Haney or Stevenson, wins, and calls out Floyd afterward. The storyline writes itself. Final thoughts. A legacy still in progress, Floyd. Mayweather clowning Gervonta Davis for retiring at 30 isn't just petty banter. It's a reflection of the complicated legacies that define boxing's biggest stars. Mayweather may feel Davis is walking away from greatness too soon. Davis may feel that the greatness he already achieved was done in spite of the system Floyd once controlled. Both men are undefeated. Both are champions. And both, in many ways, are mirrors of each other. Brilliant, brash, and burdened by expectation. For now, the torch that Floyd once tried to pass remains suspended in midair. Whether Davis picks it up again remains to be seen. But if he does, the next chapter may not be about titles or knockouts. It may be about legacy, redemption, and proving once. And for all that, Tank was never anyone's understudy. He was always his own man by royal delight. For more boxing commentary, fight news, and in-depth features, follow us online.